I'm so pleased to actually have this opportunity for us to have a chat this morning. I'm going to be talking to Caroline Laurie, who's the head of sustainability for the Kingfisher Group. And I'm really excited because we've got a few questions and I'm sure we're all going to learn a lot more about her work. So Caroline, do you mind if I go straight in and ask you some really, well, I think interesting questions, but I think the answers are going to be even more interesting. I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest.
I'm Caroline Laurie, Head of Sustainability for the Kingfisher Group. Now, a lot of you probably won't be familiar with the name Kingfisher, but you will know our brands. So we are Europe's largest home improvement retailer, and we operate across 7 countries. And you'll know many of our businesses, including B&Q and Screwfix in the UK, Castorama and Brico Depot in France. Now, I actually started out my journey with the group as the Christmas and outdoor toys buyer for B&Q over 14 years ago, which was a fabulous job. And it was really at that point that I began to learn what sustainability was and how important it was to B&Q and the wider Kingfisher Group. So as I was buying wooden and paper Christmas decorations, it was made extremely clear to me that they had to be bought very responsibly under certain guidelines. I then moved on to be category manager, looking after all of the garden furniture and barbecues and that range. And at that point, I got even deeper into the topic and began to look at the environmental impact of gas patio heaters. And back in 2008, I made the decision to remove those from sale because of the environmental impact they had. And it was brilliant that the company really supported me in that decision because of their strong environmental ethic. I then went on to help develop an energy saving proposition for Kingfisher, looking at how we could help customers save energy within the home. And from there, it was a natural step into my current role as head of sustainability for the group, where I look after driving the strategy and targets and that agenda forward across the whole business. I'm actually an accountant by trade, though, going back even further. So I'm not a deep sustainability expert, but what I do bring is that commercial knowledge and that deep retail knowledge to this agenda, which I think can be really helpful when you're moving it forward within big business.
You know that wood is the single largest raw material. So how are you and your organization making this more sustainable? And today, what does the agenda look like for the use and sustainable wood really for the future? How does that look?
That's a really interesting question. Thank you, Veronica. Some people might be surprised to know that around 25% of all of our products are made from wood. So everything from sheds to garden furniture to the handles of paintbrushes and sandpaper, it is an absolutely vital resource for us. And we've got a really long heritage in this space. So actually, back in 1991, B&Q led the group in setting a sustainable wood and paper sourcing policy, where they really outlined the way in which they wanted the business to address this. And then by 1993, we were working to set up the FSC, the Forest Stewardship Council, as a route to enable us to achieve our commitments around sustainably sourcing wood and paper from well-managed forests that don't contribute to deforestation. So it's been a really long journey for us. And I'm really pleased to say that B&Q is now at 98% responsibly sourced across all of its wood and paper products. So a customer can walk into one of our stores and be confident that they're making an ethical and responsible decision when they're buying a wood product from us. Now, in terms of where we're taking the agenda next, Kingfisher have a very clear commitment to be forest positive by 2025. And this means that we're looking to create more forests than we use. Now, that has 2 key elements. The first element is that we want to be 100% responsibly sourced, and that ensures that we're sourcing through the right certification schemes. And the second element is that we will be actively investing in reforestation partnerships from this year. And we actually launched, as founding members, a new partnership with the Rainforest Alliance called Forest Allies, and Kingfisher are a founding member of that, starting from this year. And that will look to protect, restore and enable responsible management of tropical forests in some of our key sourcing regions and promote the cross-sector collaboration on reforestation. It's a very holistic approach, working with communities in those forests to create strong local economies and protect those crucial natural resources.
FSC is an interesting logo because we see it, don't we? We see it on our, items that we buy. And if I go into B&Q, I do actually see it. But I'm wondering if anybody else really understands what it means. So I was just wondering, could you just say a little bit more about what FSC is in general and what other schemes you might trust or recommend, or we as customers might also consider?
Great, yeah. So FSC stands for Forest Stewardship Council. I expect many people will have seen the logos on packaging. Put really simply, it's a certification scheme that ensures we have control of the supply chain and that the wood comes from responsible, well-managed forests, and that we have absolute visibility of the full, what we call a chain of custody, where that wood has come from, which forest, and where it's gone after that until it reaches our stores. It gives us peace of mind that we know that that wood is responsibly and ethically sourced. It ensures that it's well managed, both in terms of its environmental and social impact. As you say, though, there are other schemes as well. And when we talk about responsibly sourced wood and paper, we accept 3 schemes. So we look at FSC, we also look at PEFC, which means Programme for the Endorsement of Forest Certification, which works in a similar way to FSC by promoting sustainable forest management through its certification. And then we also accept recycled materials where it is certified. So for example, through the European Eco-Label scheme, which is an eco-friendly alternative that really ensures that that paper has a positive environmental impact.
Great, thank you for that. That's a lot clearer. I'm also just wondering, this is a really interesting time right now, and, we're talking about Earth optimism. Why would you say you're optimistic, Caroline? And when you think about the future of the planet, is there anything that keeps you awake at night?
Oh, 2 big questions there. So why am I optimistic? I'm optimistic because in the years I've done this job, I'm really seeing a sea change in awareness and passion behind the agenda across all sorts of stakeholders. So from our colleagues who really care, to our customers who are asking more and more to ensure that their products are being responsibly sourced, and then on to investors and our board within our business. I have never seen such passion for driving this agenda forward. Barely a day goes by in my job now where I don't take a query from an investor wanting to know how we as a business are working towards being environmentally ethical, socially ethical, or tackling climate change. And I think seeing that pressure come from the outside is so important. Also, we really see a clear commercial benefit when we get this right. So we've got a commitment that half of all of our product sales will come from what we call sustainable home products. They're the products that help make our customers' homes greener, healthier, cheaper to run, use less energy, less water, and help them connect to nature. We've got a very clear set of guidelines that we share publicly about how we define that. And for example, B&Q this year will see over half of all of its sales come from products that actively make our customers' homes greener. So when you get this right, there is a clear commercial benefit, and that makes me really optimistic. What keeps me awake at night? Well, we all know there is a massive mountain for us to climb with climate change. You've got governments legislating and making big commitments around zero carbon by 2050. But what I'm really passionate about seeing now is tangible action and a roadmap to get there, which is why I'm really pleased that Kingfisher have what's called science-based targets to 2025 that ensure we're playing our part in keeping global warming under control. But I would like to see more businesses, more organisations, more regions, more governments have that roadmap to get us to net zero carbon by 2050. I think, you know, time is ticking now, and that's one area that keeps me awake. And the other area is I'd love to see more action around the protection of forests, because we know deforestation is still growing at an alarming rate. But we are beginning to see the UK government are now regulating against this. So we are beginning to see action there, which again makes me optimistic.
Wow, that's quite a journey. And I'm sure you faced a few challenges on this journey, Caroline, and I'm sure that, you know, this is something you think about quite a lot, really, is really how do you engage with your customers, and how do you ensure you bring your customers along with you? Because this is not a straightforward situation. Even though we're optimistic, we know we've got to do a lot of work with our customers.
Absolutely. And what we did when we set our responsible business strategy is we actually went in and spoke to our customers in their homes across 5 of our markets, including the UK, France and Poland, and asked them about how they live in their homes and what really matters to them. We avoided using the word sustainability because it's such jargon, isn't it? And it means different things to different people. We just asked them about what they really cared about. And we found that they cared about connecting to nature, and they thought that was really life enhancing. They cared about saving energy and water in the home, both for environmental reasons and because it directly links to their energy bills. And they care about eradicating harmful chemicals from the homes through cleaning products, paint, etc. And all of that links directly with our sustainability strategy and our sustainable home products. So we know that by offering customers the right products that are right for the environment, they're also going to give those customers an even better home, a home that's more comfortable, cheaper to run, helps them connect to nature and gets rid of those nasty chemicals. And we're often range editing to do that for them, because it can be very difficult for a customer when they look at a bathroom project. There are 38 different decision points when you renovate a bathroom, and often it can get too complicated. So if we were to say on top of that, you've got to think about your water footprint, you've got to think about responsibly sourcing wood. So we've actually changed all of our taps, our own brand taps, to be low flow, but with the same great water pressure. So customers can walk into our stores and know they're making the right choice, both for the environment and for their water bills. And it's even better for our business as well.
Well, thank you. I'm just really thinking a little bit more about what you've just said earlier about, you know, the future of wood. And I'm wondering whether you think there are, you know, future steps really to consider around sustainable use of wood, and also what other responsibilities that, I guess, companies could take on. You know, are you hopeful that companies will take on the responsibility that they need to towards a much more positive impact on the environment?
I am, and I would love to see more businesses take on this commitment to be forest positive. I think that really is the next step on this agenda. So I'd love to see businesses all get to a place that we're heading towards, where we can say that we are 100% sustainably sourced and that we're not contributing to deforestation through the sourcing of our wood and paper products and other products in our supply chain. But then I'd love to see more and more businesses go beyond that to really actively support the reforestation, restoration of forests, and support those forest communities in a holistic way to really maintain those forest ecosystems. And I think that's where I'd love to see more and more businesses move now.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because, you know, this is the question that most people are really thinking about. You know, what can companies out there do that are working with wood products? What can they do to protect and improve our environment? Thank you.
And you can't do it on your own. So I think collaboration has absolutely got to be key. Collaboration with certification schemes like FSC and PEFC, but also collaboration with partnerships like the Rainforest Alliance and others who have that expert knowledge within those tropical forest communities, where we can work with them to drive that agenda forward. This isn't something any business or NGO can do on their own. It's really got to be about collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. Collaboration is key. Where would you like to see companies in your sector in 10 years' time? I mean, of course, I would like to say 5 years' time, but let's say 10 years' time.
Well, interestingly, our target to be forest positive is for 2025. So we're moving at pace. And at the back end of this year, we'll be communicating more about which projects we're supporting. In terms of 2030, we're going to just keep continuing this journey. We're really committed to this. So we've got targets to 2025 that keep us moving forward at pace and show that we're making tangible improvements. So, for example, on climate change, we're committed to reduce the carbon footprint of our own operations by 22% by 2025 against a 2016 baseline. That journey is only going to continue even further and deeper towards 2030. And we will continue to develop and adapt our Forest Positive programme to keep investing in those programmes and see that move forward even more.
Brilliant. Thank you. And finally, my last question is, I guess it's easy to think that an individual has no power, has no control. And I'm wondering whether you think more about this than most because of the job that you do. And I guess I'm wondering what motivates you to keep on trying, Caroline.
I'm very lucky, both in the job that I do and the industry I work in. What I love about the home improvement industry is that we can have such a big impact on the environment. If you think about the products we sell, we know that in the UK, 23% of all carbon emissions come from the homes in the UK. And if we sell our customers the right products, we can make homes more sustainable. We can really have a material impact in tackling that. And I'm lucky because my job allows me to drive the sort of decisions at scale to do that. But similarly, lots of people through our business, our buyers, our sourcing teams, all have a role in driving that forward. So I would never feel like we as individuals couldn't make a change. Which is what I find really so exciting about the agenda. And I think we can all play our role in moving this forward.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for your time. That was great.
Thank you, Veronica. It was lovely to talk to you today about this.